guest with the Real Football Show. This episode, we're going to talk more. He spent last year in Germany for work. We found an agent for him who set up for him to go to Spain. So he's heading to Spain August 6th. He'll arrive in Spain because of time difference August 7th in the morning. He's got about a week, maybe a tiny bit more than a week, and he'll start doing trials. His first trial is supposed to start August 15th, and then he will be doing trials about every 2 weeks, just trying to find the right club, right fit. In addition, during that time, we have an attorney that's working on getting him a visa so that come January, the goal, objective, however you want to look at it, would be that he signs with a 4th or 5th division team in Madrid, which is where he'll be based, and then has that spring season to hopefully do really well and potentially get signed by a higher division team come next May. So, Noah, we talked to a lot of different places and a lot of different things, and is this plan, do you think that was the best one that we had?
I think it was probably the best option. I think there's a few options, and of course there's a cost in it and stuff like that, but I don't think the cost is the main concern when you think about decisions like that. And I like to play at Spain. I love to play at Spain. There's a few options in there. I didn't like Germany's play that much. I think it's not really fits my play style, a little rugged. I don't think they liked playing out of the back as much as I did, and so I feel like that was where we didn't get off on the right track, you could say. And I think Spain, the month I was there, I think they loved playing out of the back. All their keepers and stuff, the defenders, and good equipped to play out of the back, not just long balls every time. So hopefully I can just get over there, get established, get a feel for it, and do well.
Yeah, I mean, as Americans, I think the real passionate football fans, want America to have a style, and we really don't at this point. England, and the Netherlands, and to quite a little lesser degree, Germany are known for physicality. Very technical as a whole, just because they come up, but they're also known for being very physical. Spain, the tiki-taka was not founded by Spain, but it was founded in Spain, and so you think that a lot of that playing out of the back and the things I know he's learned from when he first grew up was playing out of the back. His first club knew the idea of playing out of the back, but not really how you accomplished it. And in Germany, you would think Germany, because they have perhaps the best sweeper keeper of all time in Noir, that would be their style. But as a whole, across the country, it's just not. They're just, as a country, they're a little more methodical, a little bit more. They really put a lot of thought into advantages and stuff like that. I think I talked about this once, where Germany, back when the American coach Klinsmann, when Klinsmann was the German coach, they were really putting in a lot of how do we get an advantage over other teams, and this is of course back when there was only 3 substitutions allowed in a game. And what they did as an analysis is if we can have fullbacks and midfielders and forwards that have some ability to interchange positions when they move up the field and don't have to run back to their position, they can say, an average field player does somewhere between 4 to 7 miles in a game of running. And if we can get our field players down on the lower end of that, then they're going to be fresher than the opposition's players. So you see a lot of that in Germany, where the defenders can play a little bit of midfield, and midfielders can play forward, and they can interchange a little bit. But that doesn't necessarily lead to that tiki-taka, which I'm not a big fan of that word, because I think that's just, we pass the ball. Proper total football, which is probably a better term for it, is we play out of the back. There is some interchanging of players to some degree, but it's also the goalie is part of the team. Where in other, some of the best goalies of all time, De Gea and some others, where they play through them somewhat. They're not really a part of the team. They're an outlet. there's a big difference between the goalie as part of the team and part of leading the team forward, and just, hey, we get in trouble, we pass it back to the goalkeeper. So, tell us a little bit more about, what city are you going to, what are you going to be doing there, where in the city are you going to be, that type of thing.
I'll be going to Madrid. I'll be flying to Madrid, and I'll be there early in the morning, like he said, and an apartment that I'll be living in with one roommate at the time, and another one will be coming next month. Excited to meet the boys, you could say. I'm ready to just get started. I mean, there's a lot to be focused on, a lot to do. We're going to be right next to Atletico Madrid's training ground. Hopefully get to see Griezmann and some of the few players like that play, maybe even Oblak. So hopefully watch a few training sessions, try to see what I can learn from that. And just business, I have to get used to, get the mindset, living on my own, just I wanted to be able to do that and get acclimated and get ready for the season.
Good. Yeah, I mean, if he's close enough to the Atletico Madrid facility that maybe if he's out getting lunch, you might run into some other players getting lunch as well. So you never know. But the idea is, again, he's going to fly to Madrid. He's going to spend about every 2 weeks starting August 15th doing different training sessions, trying to find a team that both needs a goalie and needs a goalie with his skill set, his unique skill set being that he is more of a total football goalie, good with his feet. Actually had a couple nice headers coming out of the box last year as well. You don't think of goalie being able to head the ball, but when you can't use your hands outside the box, then
You gotta do something.
you got to use something. And at 6'2", you got some height on most of the players you're competing against going up with that. And he's actually still one of the best headers of the ball I've ever seen, especially at his age. So, as a goalie, that doesn't come in handy all the time, but every once in a while. So when you look at it, okay, what are your plans? I guess, I mean, obviously, you got to get adjusted. The big adjustment this year is you're going to have to go out and get your own groceries and to some degree cook your own food. Where last year that part was taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be having 15 sessions in a week like you were having in Germany, so that you'll have some time to go out to the store. I think the nearest grocery store is maybe half a mile away, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal. But when you look at the mindset of you're going to have access to a fitness facility, a pool, that type of thing, is like what is it that you want to accomplish?
I think all the platforms there for the trials. You got people that know what you're doing. You're in a good place, good city, and good living. I mean, I think everything's there that you need, covering the pool and then gym for you need to go for covering, building muscle and stuff like that. I think everything's there for me to go after it. I think their idea is to sign up for a contract, which that's why I'm going on. I believe that I have the ability and everything in my power is to get that contract and to show who I am, show the U.S. isn't here just to fool around and have a good time. We're here to establish and hopefully compete in the next World Cup. Hopefully I'll be part of that one day.
Next World Cup's here, so yeah, I mean, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico have the next World Cup, so he's got 3 years to find a team that and work his way up to that level. So you look at it, and that's the difference being, and one of the reasons we went with this option over a few of the others was Madrid has, I don't even know how many clubs, but tons of clubs. So he's going to be able to practice, do trials with 4th division clubs. He may even be able to get to play with a 6th or 7th division team every once in a while. We'll kind of depend on how that works out. But to 5th division and higher, you have to have a visa, which takes 2 to 4 months. So that's the point is the fall he's going to be there to do the trials, to find a team, and then come January, hopefully his visa's in place. In that January transfer window, he'll be able to move on to that hopefully 4th or 5th division team. And one of the keys will be finding one that wants him to play, so that he can showcase his skills on the field. you see that, there's, it's interesting watching the new soccer fans, because I follow a bunch of different ones on Facebook. We live in the Austin area, so, I follow the Austin FC one, and a lot of these people are new to the sport, which is great. We want to have new fans, but when, no one I have watched, we're going on 15 years, I think, of following the Premier League and Bundesliga and that type of thing, is all these countries have cups. Currently in England, we have the FA Cup and the Caribou Cup that they're competing at during the season. Right now, as we're filming this, Austin FC just got eliminated over the weekend from the Leagues Cup, which is the third one. And this one, instead of it kind of being integrated into the season, they just have taken about 6 weeks off. And Austin FC got 0 points out of 3 games and will not be advancing. I think we missed out on an opportunity to host Inter Miami, actually, by not qualifying, which would have been, I don't know if that would caught him before he left or not, but that seeing Messi play would be very cool. But you start seeing, and it's interesting, I've started following Inter Miami since Messi signed with them, and I do watch a little bit of the post, and I was telling him this. I think most American soccer fans, knew who Messi was. I won't say they all did, but I'll say most of them did. But some of the other players that they're bringing in, Noah and I were aware of them from Barcelona for years, but it was funny or ironic.
Busquets guy any good though?
Yeah, is this Busquets guy any good? And I was like, paying bad against Miami. Like, this is one of the star players on the Barcelona team for a decade, right? I don't know if it's official now, but they're saying Iniesta, they had Xavi, they had, at different point, they had Neymar and Suarez.
Gonna be there.
So I mean, you're talking, and just watching, like Messi and Busquets already, they're, you talk about soccer IQ, or in this case, football IQ, you can just see that they're thinking, they're 3 steps ahead. They're we talk about this, he's getting in his chess a little bit. They're playing chess while the other team's playing checkers, type of thing, and they're making passes. And they are that good, and that's it's great to have these players, I think, come into the U.S. and let the U.S. population see them up close and in person. So it'll be interesting to see, how Messi, does Messi play? They're talking about him playing through the next World Cup now, which that's.
I mean, you could definitely see it as a possibility with him moving to the U.S. so he doesn't have to go anywhere as far for the travel since he's getting older. Get his family closer so he doesn't have to move him.
So we'll try to wrap up with Spain. So he'll be in Spain. We're going to try to on his Instagram account. We're going to try to get him to do some. It'll be a little bit more of a challenge because he's not going to have a photographer or videos at this. So he's going to have to take these videos himself. But we're going to try to get about once a week do some behind the scenes. Here's my apartment, or here I am going to the grocery store, or here's the Atletico Madrid. He figured out a way to go to watch the Atletico Madrid practices. Here's me at the Atletico Madrid practices, that type of thing, and then hopefully we can get a 30 to 45 second clip of him, whatever trial he's doing that week, at that trial. So we'll see. It's pretty hot over there in Spain at the moment, so they don't really have air conditioning like we do have here in the U.S. So apartment has air conditioning in the main area, but not in the bedrooms. So the first month or so might be a bit warm. But that's part of the process of figuring out what when you want this the way he does, and this is him saying, I want to do this. I don't think I put any pressure on him to do it. This is him saying, I want to do this. This is my goal, and I'm just here to try to help him find that. So. I think parents sometimes forget that in the process is, what do the kids want? And I think that's where you start seeing, kids in high school falling out because the parents were pushing it. It wasn't the kids. And eventually the kids go, I'm more interested in something else. And he's taken it, his friends, they've committed to that. Like I said, 5 days a week, 2 hours at the gym. It's probably a couple, 2 or 3 times a week. They're going out to play soccer either before or after that, depending on, again, it's been pretty much 100 degrees since you got home, I think, in May.
Very hot.
And it rained right before he got home in May and then a little bit after, but we're now about to go into August, and we're about 2 months without any significant rain, so it's pretty hot and dry out there at the moment. So that's it for this episode. Thanks, Noah, for coming on the show.